Stream should now be able to hear me, and as well as should be able to hear Discord. Hopefully.
Maybe. Who knows?
And as well yes, it can hear me. I can hear myself through my own YouTube. So Discord. Yes. So we're just going to quickly pop that screen capture over. And we're going to capture that screen. There we go. Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing on this fine day today? You think should be set up now? Yep, I can see it all through my YouTube. Hello, Con Dog. Blue number 2. I believe number 2.
You think number 2 is better?
I think number 2.
Okay.
Make it so you can talk in stage chat? No, we have stage chat and general questions. You can talk in there. What member can speak in there? You are ready. Same, man. Same. Alright, so welcome everybody to the Q&A today. We have a lovely group of people here already waiting to listen, as well as some of our amazing speakers, Blue and Jeeps. Jeeps said hello a minute ago and is muted now, but say hi, Blue.
Howdy.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy.
As well as, yep, we have Jeep here as well, and we can, basically you can ask us any question about development. We like to be very transparent, so game development, you know, community plans, community development plans, like everything that you want to know, go ahead and ask. I'm also going to, on the YouTube, I'm also going to actually add the music that we were just using, because I think it's quite nice to have just in the background. I'm going to be quiet, but it'll be in there. There we go. Just a little bit of background noise for the YouTube. So what's going to happen is that if we have a lot of people on YouTube, which we do have a couple people watching on YouTube, as well as we'll have people in the Discord just asking questions. So if you want to ask a question to either one, I'm going to bounce back and forth between whichever one is currently being used, and we can start it off like that. So, yeah. What you guys got? Let's see. First question is from Argos. Hey, Argos. Is the Underground going to be in the next release? No.
No.
Underground is horribly earlier in development. And while we are messing around and playing around with everything, it is not ready yet. We have a couple mechanics that are slightly functional, but nothing that's good enough to ship. Why is my microphone quality so horrible? Let me check that real quick. It's going through my Blue
You're
Yeti.
talking through your Rift. Oh, is it?
It's going through my Yeti. How's that? Is that better?
That's much better.
Okay, it was too far away from my face.
Okay.
Let's see. When's the next update gonna be out? Soon, TM.
That's a fantastic question.
No,
Yeah, soon PM is pretty much the best answer we can give.
we're hoping soon, like genuinely soon. Like we're hoping a very good soon because we are, you know, hoping that we can get that functional too.
Yeah. So a very basic explanation of what's going on right now with the update is so the idea is minimum viable product of like what do we absolutely need to be done right now in order to push out an update. So basically we are 98% there, but that last 2% is taking forever.
And we want the features that we promised for this next update to be for you guys. So we just want to polish those out, make sure they are all functional.
Exactly.
Let's see. When will booster promo be used? Whenever boosters use it, I don't really control it. They have the option to just put their own videos and promotions in there if they want it. That's the point of booster promo. They can't ping anybody, but they can put it in there so it's a separate area for boosters to mess around with. Haven't used it yet. Hey, Haunted. Haven't used it quite yet, but that's up to boosters, really. What's the current plan with updates, and is it going to be a weekly thing or what? So updates are on a more or less when we finish them basis. We have a internal roadmap of certain things that we want to do, but that roadmap isn't very far out. It's more or less just like what do we want in the next couple updates, as well as we have the public roadmap, which is pinged in announcements, and I believe it's also in FAQ, which is like the main feature updates, and those are kind of like the big updates that we want to make sure we have pushed out. Let's see. Let's pop over to YouTube real quick. How's production going? Production is going. It's obviously game development is no simple task, as well as we don't have everybody on board that we would like to have on board, or as well as we don't have a huge team. I know from the outside it does look like we have a pretty large team, but honestly most of that team doesn't have full access to the code, or you'll have people who are on the team but for specific, like very specific reasons. So we tend to only give like a couple trusted programmers full access to the code, like Blue, like Simo, and a couple others that we're hoping to bring on soon that will be able to help push forward production as well. Blue and Simo do a lot of amazing work, and they have been the catalyst for basically every update that you've seen so far, as well as for just people who have been a part of this project before who have been able to help us out. Joshua Mack says this is going to be PCVR exclusive. No. So we do currently have both the PCVR and the Quest build out on SideQuest right now that you can try out. It's a bit older now. We're trying to update it to the next build soon, but it is fully playable on both Quest and PC with pretty much the same exact between both. There's a slight graphical downgrade, but it's honestly barely noticeable.
So to answer Sloth's question, which is in regards to having multiple different arenas.
Mm-hmm.
It's something we want to do. You know, as you put in your own question, we don't like promising anything. So I'll just say we would like to do multiple arenas. How that would work in terms of matchmaking, we haven't worked out quite yet. It could be, you know, like you queue up for different maps. It could be once a match is kind of formed, then you choose the map, you vote for it. Could be something like that. Who knows? For now, we're focusing on the development of one arena, and then once that is at a level of quality that we're happy with, we will move on to adding additional arenas.
Exactly.
Hopefully, if that's still something we're wanting.
And if you've been following development, we've also been, we've been experimenting with other arenas. There was another arena in the game for a while that we eventually took out because it hadn't been updated as much as our one arena. So it It did get pulled. We still have it. Obviously, it's just not updated, so the lighting looks terrible. The textures look horrible, but it does exist. But it's not in the game because it's just not our main priority right now.
Yes.
Let's see. Where can I play it? So it's going on SideQuest right now. So SideQuest, you can get both the PC VR and the Quest build. Thank you very much, Sandra. And how soon is it going to be on the Quest store? And that kind of also goes into the next question on the YouTube. Do you have a time frame when Hex might be on App Lab? So App Lab is slightly tricky because there's just specific things that you need to do when it comes to exporting that we just haven't gotten around to, and we've been busy with other things where it's to the point where it's not our main priority. So right now, we are hoping to have it on App Lab during the Beta 1 release. Beta 1 is hopefully, and I say hopefully because it might not be exactly, around the beginning of August. That could change. It could be a little later, could be a little sooner. Most likely a little later. But that's when we hope to have an App Lab accessible build, because that's also when we hope to have many of the core features of the game functional, like multiplayer, like arena matches, or things like that. Let's see. Everybody's singing 1, 2, buckle my shoe.
So I see someone is asking how to install Hex on SideQuest. Go to the How to Play channel. We have a written out explanation on how to do it.
It's a very good tutorial. I'll direct you in that general direction. Boosters can't type in booster promo. Larry, I seem to have made a mistake. I will fix that soon. What are the features in the new update? Data, we are... Actually, yeah, Blue, you can answer that one.
Yeah, so the only reason why I hesitate to necessarily answer that 100% is, again, that's making promises. We don't know what might get cut leading up to it, so I won't go into too much details. I can say right off the bat, graphical and performance improvements. We've been posting some of our work in the sneak peek channels between the regular sneak peek channel and the booster sneak peeks. So you've seen the evolution of the arena over time. I can guarantee you that this is both the best the game has ever looked and the best it's ever run.
Very true.
Both on PC and standalone on Quest 2. Runs great, looks pretty damn good. So that's one of the major features. Obviously, open multiplayer is a big one. Large departure from the booster exclusive multiplayer we've kind of been doing up until this point. This is one that I'm hoping we can get fully working, because right now it's about 90% working. Is a very, very rudimentary form of matchmaking in the form of essentially join codes, room codes, similar to something from the hit game Among Us.
I dislike you. Yeah.
I know you do. It's all right.
But yeah, so just there's a couple things that we want in there, a couple things that aren't fully functional yet, but we hope to get them functional. Like Blue said, graphically, the game just looks better, the game runs better, as well as hoping to have multiplayer to you guys, and as well as there's a couple throwing improvements. So how the throwing works in the game, those are in the next update, and it is quite a bit better. If you've seen Condog B, he's been posting a couple montages here and there of a game that's just not even close to finish yet. So hey, he's getting content out of it. But he posted a couple montages of him making some sick shots. So, and that's with a version of the newer update. It's not the version he has isn't what's going to be the next update, but it is partial.
Yeah. So the version that you may have seen floating around on social media, that is a pre-release version that was put out to content creators. So they got an early look at some of the features that are going to be in there. There's going to be some improvements that they didn't get, and maybe some things that have been altered or removed for the public release. But the big takeaway is that it's going to be a pretty massive improvement from the current public build, which I'm going to be honest is still very crazy to look at. I'm going to be honest, just seeing how far the game has come so far since the previous public release.
When we make improvements, we make improvements.
Oh yeah, usually at 4 a.m.
Any chance the game will be ready to go August 2nd? 4 a.m. definitely. Any chance the game will be ready to go August 2nd? So there will be a version of the game out August 2nd. It might be beta 1. It might not be. It could still be an alpha by then. Again, I'm not too sure. But if you want to look at the roadmap of what we hope to have by then, it is in fact in the FAQ and links. There is a nice old picture, and beta 1 has its little readout underneath of it. And that's what we hope to have around that point. Again, could be pushed back, but there will still be a game. Like, obviously, we have a game now. It's not done, but you can still play it. So, ready does not exist in any date that we have. Partially ready is a hopeful for around August. And currently, we have a game at this very moment. Let's see.
Would you guys be interested in a public trailer roadmap alongside the fusion announcements? So we have a private Trello that we don't necessarily keep up with as often as we should. A lot of the development's very sporadic due to it being completely volunteer based. When it comes to a public Trello, the main reason why we're hesitant to do something like that is because of how kind of fluid some things are in terms of planning.
Iterative design.
Yeah, it's so like we could say, hey, let's implement X this week. And then, in this hypothetical where we have a public Trello, we put it on the Trello, people get excited for it, and then we're like, let's not do that. And then we have to remove it. And that's not fun for anybody. So we'd much rather just tell you guys about stuff that we're actively working on and genuinely planning on implementing.
Yeah, that about sums it up. Let's see. But yeah, so public Trello, it would fall down really quickly right now. Maybe later when we have a more concrete design going on. Somebody said Among Us isn't a VR game. It is now.
It is now, yeah.
I forget though. Are you needing any volunteers to test any part of development? If so, where do you sign up? Game is public. You can play it. Head over to How to Play, and all the links and everything will be there for our side quest, where both the PC VR and the Quest build lie. There also is a small tutorial in that channel as well, in case if you need it. Let's see. There's a lot of Among Us images. If I have Hex and Soul and I can open it, how do I get on my actual Quest 2? Because it's just on my monitor. So when you're on side quest, you're going to need to make sure that you install the Quest build. It is labeled on there, and you'll have to have your headset plugged in. As well as if you are playing the PC VR build, you have to make sure that your headset, again, is plugged in and you are running the Oculus software, as well as making sure that your Oculus is set up to OpenXR runtime, which is in the settings. Again, a lot of that is in the How to Play, so all the information you'll need is in there.
Will there be any Echo Secret references? You'll have to wait and see.
Well, think about it if they don't get us sued.
Yeah. Obviously, I think it'd be fun to do something like that. So if I could sneak it past paid, I will. How about that?
The only secret reference will be I am keeping my game count. Nobody else is. I'm going to make sure I have 5,000 games in Hex already. Just kidding. Not there yet. Let's see. Is there an update before Beta 1? Yes. It's, again, it's up in the The roadmap is in FAQ and links. There will be a couple updates before then, hopefully. Again, we're hoping to have an update soon. TM. I'm getting really used to saying that.
Should get it tattooed on you at this point.
Jeez. I should get it on a shirt. You know, my Hex shirt. I should just get on the back and just have it say soon TM.
Is there gonna be toys like Echo Arena? You mean like in the lobby? In the hypothetical situation where there is a social lobby, and I would like to have, goofy toys in there. I think that was one of the elements of Echo I really enjoyed.
I think I promised ET there would be a duck in there. I don't know why I promised, but it might not actually happen. But I did at some point tell ET there would be a duck somewhere. So
Listen, at the very least, we'll put it somewhere.
we'll throw a duck somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's head over to the YouTube comments because I realize I've neglected them for like 10, 15 minutes. Will there be a possibility to host your own matches without relying on your servers? So right now we only have it set up through our servers. That does not mean that we want to create a self-hosted section in the future, because I do know now that since we are going to be using the Steam VR store, or just Steam in general, the Steam store, there is a self-host your server section through there. So at the bare minimum, we will look into using that. But hopefully we will also have our own server hosting solution for you. Again, super far in the future. We want that. It's not a promise. I'll say that now. It is not a promise, but it is something that we would like to have just to make life easier for everybody.
I can say right now that, self-hosting is not a now thing in any way, shape, or form. But it's definitely not a never thing. It is not even necessarily, in the grand scheme of things, that complicated. It's just a matter of having the development time and manpower to do it, which we just don't have right now. We'd rather be spending that time making the actual game. But it's something we want to look into in the future. Absolutely.
Do you plan on adding any some kind of protection to the game, since somebody already commented saying they're excited to speed hack and hex? We will do whatever we can to obviously have some sort of anti-cheat in the game. Sometimes it is a moot point. There's always going to be somebody who finds a way around, and we will also be doing account moderation to get people like that out of there. But we will have some form of anti-cheat in the game eventually.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
definitely a something on the to-do list is to add an anti-cheat.
Especially
but at
when
the end of the day, the best anti-cheat is just a good community.
Be nice.
Yeah, basically. I mean, hey, when it gets to that point where matchmaking is like a real thing and people are able to play an actual game, reporting will be a thing, and you'll be able to snitch on each other all you want.
Listen, we're gonna give Jeep the full authority over the banhammer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's dangerous. I typically run a very strict community. If I run a community, it is very, not necessarily strict, but I always want things to be something that you would be proud for your mom to see. Like if you're a kid and your mom walked into the room and looked over your shoulder and saw the Discord server, that she wouldn't be like, "Who in the heck are you talking to?" That she would be like, "Oh, you made some nice friends." Yeah.
Echo players.
You know what I mean? So I always have a tendency to err on the side of what would your parent want to see type of a thing. So that's
Hey, that's a fair thought process. And again, when we get to that point where we have moderation, we will have community guidelines and we'll put everything out for everybody so they know what to follow. And if they don't follow it, then Jeep hits the button.
Yeah.
That's it. Expecting any legal issues from Meta, or are you keeping intentionally quite different? Obviously, we are intentionally keeping it quite different. I personally know a couple people who work or have worked at Meta, and I have been talking with them behind the scenes about just what Meta is like, what their operation is, and what their reaction is to things like this, as well as somebody told me how they were reacting to us when we first came around. And from what I can tell, and from what everybody has told me at this point, we are dodging any legal issues. Meta cannot put a patent on zero gravity games. and as well as we are making our game original to the point where it's not going to look like Echo. It's probably not even going to play like as similar to Echo as people may want it to, because Echo was a highly polished game, and so we'll have obviously things in there that people can relate to it, but it will also be different. Tic-tac-toe and chess and checkers in the social lobby. Only Go Fish.
No, I think that obviously, like we said, we're not going to make any promises or anything, but I think that tic-tac-toe would be fun, and it's social
Tic-tac-toe would be fun. Let's see.
Similar to how there was the dartboard.
Somebody said on the YouTube, actually they said a couple things. Add a little gremlin toy, call him Hexo. That's kind of cute.
Write that down.
Write that down. Can you guys eventually add public stats of yourself and your friends, like the tablet has them in Echo? We would like to do that, and actually the server host and the account hosting system that we have used and will likely be using does have the ability to have that sort of thing stored and functional in the game. So we'd like to add it. Not going to make any promises again, but it is something we would like to do.
Absolutely.
Can you guys eventually add public... Oh, I already read that one. Is it going to be PC VR to start only with Steam? Nope. On Quest right now. Again, head over to the side quest. It is all there. The Steam store is not up yet because Steam is a B word. That's the best I can give you. Steam is terrible when it comes to creating a store account. It is a lot of work for no reason. Is Hex Underground going to be free, or is it like Echo Combat? So there's no pricing associated with the game yet. One, because I don't want to have any sort of expectation yet, as well as like I don't want anybody to think that, oh, they're going to make us pay, well then I'm going to leave, or anything like that. Because we are so early in development that I'm not comfortable with making anybody either promise to sell the game or, have a promise that they want to buy it. So right now there's no price associated with the game. You can play it for free on SideQuest in the test versions. Eventually, if it does become a monetary sort of game where we need to add payments for the game, I will tell you every functionality of the game, every base functionality, like game modes, will be in the base version. Like you will not have to pay $10 for Underground or something like that, because I don't like that system. Because I'm also not here to make money off of it.
Dumb of Rad.
Yeah, that was such a bad decision. As well as we're hoping Underground will also be on standalone quests, so no plugging into a computer to play half the game.
Yeah. Again, what were they thinking, man?
They were thinking they forgot.
Yeah, a little bit. Let's see. Is it possible to ban people from public lobbies and not privates or stuff like that for fear and all stuff? Like, what do you mean?
I think the idea is that
if somebody starts saying slurs in public, they just get banned from private. They can still play the game privately, though.
I mean, I get what they're saying. I don't know if that's gonna be a thing.
I can almost guarantee you that will not be a thing.
There you go. There's the good answer. There's the answer from the very smart developer.
Yeah.
That's
I can
sound like
tell
a headache.
right now that if someone was banned from the game itself for like very clearly like real reasons, they are going to be removed completely. If that's with every fiber of our power, they will not be playing the game anymore.
In-game admins? Hopefully there will be a form of in-game moderation, like for specifically like trusted players. By trusted, I mean like our own team, where they can just do something from in the game, or they have a tag that says they can do something, so it'd be nice around them. What kind of cosmetics would you guys like to implement? We will not be promising any cosmetics. One, because that is very far out, and two, I personally don't like a paid cosmetic system. But in the future, if we want cosmetics in the game, we will have them. But at this time, we cannot put any sort of merit towards that, because that is just so far out of our focus that it is just not something that we are looking into.
So we kind of skipped past this one. Will Chicagoing still be a thing? So Chicagoing is, you cannot stop it. Chicagoing at its core is just a network latency thing.
The only way to stop it is to be in the same room as the server with the rest of your team.
Yes, that or implement rollback netcode, which we are not doing. We have absolutely no intention of doing anything of the sort. On top of that, if you put rollback netcode in a VR game, you'd probably throw up. Um, yeah, that'd be a really bad experience. Now that I'm like fully thinking about that, yeah, we're not doing that. What color is the arena plan to be?
Right now it's in golden pink. It's in blue and pink, but who knows?
Yeah. It's actually teal and magenta. I'll have you know.
You're fired. No.
Please make a.
YouTube, you did not just see me accidentally turn on and off my number lock because I just whacked my keyboard.
Huh?
I whacked my keyboard, so it saw me change my number lock. Let's look over at YouTube.
I'm gonna be honest, Sloth. I've looked at green and pink. It is really ugly. That might just be my opinion, though.
Only for the Christmas update.
Yeah, for the Christmas update. Yeah. Well, for that we'll do green and red.
Oh yeah, it's green and red, not green and pink.
That'd be a very, very different kind of Christmas if it were green and pink.
What's the closest? What's the closest thing green and pink can relate to? Is that like a salmon? That's like green and pink makes me think of like a fish.
It makes me think of Team Fortress 2.
Oh yeah.
It makes. See, I see it and think of watermelon.
Oh, why didn't we think of that?
Oh, yeah. That's a lot more of a normal thing to think about.
We're just insane.
Yeah. Where someone is defending one. I mean, it would definitely be done on a case-by-case basis. Did I even read that question out loud?
I'm trying to read
Or
it
did I
honestly
just whisper that
correctly.
to
No, you
myself?
did not read that out loud.
Okay, what if someone is defending while you be punished for fighting back? Will there be an easy way to debate or like Okay, so basically you're asking if you're able to challenge a mod's decision.
That's so far out that honestly I'm not
set
sure
up
yet.
an email account. Yeah, that's so far out there. Hypothetically, I mean, we'd probably want to set up like an email account. You could email to, you know, refute a ruling. How many levels are there going to be to reach max? We have not even began discussing a leveling system.
We have a full MMR system already in the game.
Exactly, guys. The game's done.
The game's
I'll have
done.
you know, actually.
No,
I just
levels.
think it'd be really funny to hold on to it for a year.
We've been building this for about a year and a half now. We've just got these builds in the hard drive. We're just waiting for them to go out.
I'll say right now, personally, I see absolutely no reason to put a cap on levels. I can tell you right now that you're gonna reach a point where you're not gonna get anything for leveling up, assuming there is like a cosmetic system. You're not gonna get anything for reaching level 8 billion. Just for that,
you get a high five
adding,
emoji.
Yeah, you get a high five emoji, whatever that means.
I'll ping you personally in the server somewhere and give you a high five emoji.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's see. Pitch
and
and roll?
planned.
One day.
Absolutely planned.
Right now, our turning scripts are a little laggy occasionally. There's a couple issues with
them.
them.
Terrible. They need rewritten.
A lot of the, honestly, in my opinion, a lot of the movement needs to be redone, as well as some of the throwing stuff. But that's right now we're building on a system that we've just kind of been working on. It's probably been recoded like twice at this point, but not completely. Like it's been recoded, and none of it looks the same, but it's still like the way it is. So we might just want to redo it at some point.
Lore.
Lord.
Very, very vaguely discussed. A lot of it is kind of necessity driven. it's like people with access to the current build, the pre-release, might have noticed that we technically gave the two teams names, like besides just pink and blue.
What were they again?
Um,
It's like a Magi and
yeah, it's Magi and Kepler.
Kepler,
Two
West Virginia.
teams. Yeah, they're work in progress names for sure. They're technically placeholders, but I think that they're gonna catch on. I really like those names personally,
I do like them.
and not just because I came up with them, not just because I wrote them down while making the scoreboard UI.
Hopping over to YouTube real quick. Rebounders better. Fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. I'm not reading all those fire emojis.
Real.
Cool. Real.
So true. I
mean,
believe it.
It actually, I've messed around in rebounders. It's quite enjoyable.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah. There was a funny glitch, not to jump on the rebounders devs, and it's not really jumping on them for anything negative. There was just a funny glitch where the head of the player actually stretched behind the actual player when you were moving, and I thought that was really entertaining. That's game development for you. It messes up. We got plenty of glitches like that too. Do not worry. When do you guys plan for it to come out? It is out right now. Again, it is in early alpha. I technically call it alpha 1. It's barely alpha 1, but I just technically call it alpha 1 to make my life easier. We hope, again, App Lab release, beta 1, as well as that's beta 1 is when a lot of hopeful features will be functional, but it will not be the final game.
Yeah.
It's funny. Dad, there you go. It is a very funny glitch.
The general way to look at the alpha and beta releases is that beta 1 is our current benchmark to hit, which is a playable game. You'll be able to press a button and it'll put you in a game with multiple people on 2 different teams to put the disc thingy in the goal thingy. That's the objective right now.
YouTube comment again. Legally, you can get sued because if your code is too similar to their code or branding, they can be sued for They can sue Zero G Games. And since I'm a dev studio, so Siberian, I've seen your dev studio. Cool. Legally, you can get sued. Obviously, yes, if the code is identical or similar in any way, as well as if you brand it, it can be in theory. It's not similar anyway. Our code is a mess. That's what I like to call it. Not similar anyway. Visually, stylistically, models not the same. Branding not the same. I mean, they go for a brand that is a zero gravity in space sport. We are a magic wielding, a tower filled extravaganza. So.
Yeah. So a general statement on that is we are very, very confident that we're fine, legally speaking.
And again, I've been in correspondence with people already about that, so I've been back and forth probably once a week at this point, just checking in, like, how's this looking? We're good? All right, carry on.
Hey, you said the banned word. You can't say magic.
Magic? No, I didn't say the other banned word. Yes, this is meta we're talking about. I am very aware of who I'm working with. I already, at my new job, actually, I just got another job. I have to pretty much directly deal with Meta now for a couple of dumb things, in my opinion, but you have to be able to license games somehow for companies, so. I'm very aware with Meta's legal.
Target joke.
No, I don't work at Target anymore. Finally moved on. But yeah, Siberian, you don't have to worry. Every little angle I've looked at, it's my job, so. No, E.T., that is the banned word. We don't talk about that word. Let's see. What are your opinion on other Echo remakes or completely different games? Great. I mean, obviously, it would be amazing if every single one could be under the same roof, but if they're not, every game is a game, and every game can be made, and I'm going to play them. Because in VR...
I, for one, am looking forward to another Axioms.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. But in terms of VR, more games in the VR space that are well polished and well made are amazing for the VR space. I've been playing VR since 2016. Own 8 headsets now, I think it is, and I love seeing new games no matter who they're made by or no matter what they are, even if they are in quote-unquote competition with what we are doing, and I don't really see anything here as a competition because we are just making what we want to make, making what we love.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I just generally agree with the sentiment.
No negativity here. We love everything.
Yeah. Let's see. Nothing new in the Discord.
What's the
That's
lore
just
behind
it.
the banned word? No.
Yeah, no, we're not. We're not talking about that.
No. Terrifying concept. Ducks are
Yeah,
cool,
ducks are
ET.
cool.
Ducks are cool.
Ducks are cool.
We love a good duck. Let's see. Hit us with more. Hit us with more. I blocked out an hour of my day. Oh, there's 5 messages in the Q&A chat. I think those might just be join messages. Yeah, they are. Requests. Let's see, who do we got in here? We got Leela. I think I pronounced that right. I apologize. We have a Restrained, Data, Drop, Sea King, Kano, Braden, Cerebus, Gimme Your Tots, Legit, Crystal Sun, Thunderfoot, E.T., of course, and Larry. Pray for me to get a new car somehow. Pray for me to get a new car somehow. 100 booster reward. We will be putting that in the game eventually. It's not modeled yet. It will be in the social lobby when we make a social lobby. But we have the list, so that list is not going anywhere. It's saved on a Word document.
In a bottle, in a safe, on the bottom of the fucking ocean.
Go for a swim.
It's well protected. Guarded by laser sharks
Sharks with freaking
with
laser
rocket
beams.
launchers.
Would there be a possibility for you to merge with another remake if both get extremely popular, like Rebounders X Hex? Well, we've talked with Rebounders before. We've talked with probably every single group making a Echo remake at this point. And
Other than another X. Yeah.
other than another X, I mean, honestly, I've talked with them too. Just not in a merge sense, just kind of chatted. We've offered merges to some. We've conversed with others about just like plans or possibilities in the future. Lucid VR decided to come and join us, so they're part of their dev team is now kind of being on board with our dev team still. But any more than that, everyone else who we've asked has said no, so that's all right. Again, more games is more games. I'll play all of them, but it's been asked. It's been thrown around.
Will gameplay be 4v4 or 5v5 like Echo? So baseline, our goal is 5v5. But you know, Echo started out with not 5v5, so we would
They were 3v3.
like to probably end up doing our own testing to figure out what player count works best. Because, you know, mechanically, you know, Hex isn't going to be identical to Echo. Might play out differently.
Onboarding first projects when? Larry, we have kind of slowly sprinkled those out. It's been hard finding projects for some, honestly, honest to God. It's just been very difficult, like, building projects for everybody. So, trying very soon for all that. Onboarding has been just slow and painful, and I apologize for that.
Ability to join a match without going into a public lobby. I'm assuming you're talking about like not having to load into a social lobby before queuing, just queuing directly in the menu. It's something we can look at.
Right now, we just don't have a social lobby, so right now that's
Yeah,
exactly
right
what
now.
you want.
Yeah, technically, that is exactly what you want currently. Our current plan is to do matchmaking from inside the social lobby. though something like what you're asking for could be explored.
Siberian Space says, I hope all the Echo games get popular, as it's sad for it to go. Is it possible for me to DM me at some point? If you want to DM me, you can. I might not see it. My DMs are kind of like hidden, and there's, I think, there's about 20 unread messages in my message requests. I do go through them occasionally, but I sometimes miss them for a while. Alternatively, if you are in our server, you can check the partnership section of the server. There is our email in there. You can just email us with what you want to tell us about, and we'll read it and respond. The email is hexvrproject@gmail.com if you aren't in the server. Oh, Revolution? I guess you can DM me. Felix, what are you guys thinking of making? When are you guys thinking of making the game pay to play? If you are not at some point, right now, not particularly. We don't have any like specific plan for whether or not there will be financials involved or not. Obviously, at some point, we will have to look at ways to keep the servers running or keep the game development functional. So, right now, we don't have any concrete plans. No. At release is when we would look into something like that.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't even discussed, anything like that. Just off the top of my head, I can pretty much guarantee you that anything in terms of monetization wouldn't start until at least beta 2.
Yeah. Realistically, I think it would be best if we were to do some form of monetization, it would be for release specifically, but maybe around that beta 2 stage, we would look into like a pre-order or something like that. But again, that is so far in the future that nothing is concrete, nothing is planned, and we'll get back to you on that when we are way closer to that date.
Yeah, trust me, you guys will know as soon as we know.
Yeah. that sums it up about right.
Would queuing be implemented physically in a social lobby like Echo? Plan to make it accessible through a tablet menu separate from that? Undecided at the moment. What I'll say is that Echo did it in a really good way. While not everything was done through the tablet, all of the menus were diegetic. They took place inside the world except for the main menu. So personally, I think that that's a good way to handle it. But we'll be experimenting to figure out what works best. Will there be any VRML type of system or in-game thing? So for VRML specifically, that's not really up to us. That's up to VRML. As for an in-game thing, are you just talking about like a competitive matchmaking queue?
Yeah, it looks like
I almost guarantee you we won't have one at launch. If nothing else, just because splitting up the queue is like a really bad idea for a small game.
Self-made VRML. We do have something similar to that right now. We have Hex tournaments. Jeep is actually in here. Jeep does a lot of great work for Hex tournaments, as well as Ball, who is not in here right now, does a good bit of work for just the organizational aspect of that. Right now, we are running a tournament in Echo specifically, and eventually, when Hex is at that stage where we can run tournaments in Hex, we will be running tournaments in Hex. In the future, we can do casual and ranked if we have the player base.
Yeah, if we have the player base for it. Like I said, early on, definitely not. It doesn't really make sense to split up the player base like that. Glad you think so.
I heard there's another remake that's already in talks with VRML. I bet it's another Axiom, and cool.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Obviously, I've spoken with VRML a couple times as well. They are not willing to commit. From what I can tell, they're not willing to commit to a single game until they, there's a game. Like, until it's fully functional. So, which is a very understandable thing.
Yeah, I think that's a super reasonable stance to take on it.
They obviously, I mean, we all saw with how long it took for them to get games like Ultramex and how specific and strict they were with how Ultramex got into VRML. So, realistically, like, even if VRML isn't with us, that's okay. They are not, like, the only competitive league, as well as, realistically, they also don't require competitive league specific. And eventually, if they do want to reach out to us when we have a high enough player count or, a good enough game, then they are free to do so. But it's more or less, it's not our huge focus right now because the focus is making a game.
Would tournaments still be a thing if the player base is high enough for ranked? I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't be. They're very different from one another. Oh, wait, would tournaments still be a thing if the player base isn't high enough for rank? I mean, that's the plan right now.
And then obviously if there's just no people playing the tournament, then just we won't have a tournament. Like if nobody signs up for it, then it's like, well, guess no tournament. But
I mean, I imagine if no one's signing up for it, what we probably end up doing is just, putting out signups. We don't get enough. We just don't put it on that time.
Yeah.
And we open up signups again and later. Of course, there's a limit to that, though. You get to a certain point where you realize it's not working.
If and when will this game be released on Apple App Store? Apple App, hopefully again around the August time frame. No confirmation right now, but that's when we hope. They have a very Siberian says it's not another Axiom. It's somebody who's very close relationship on this person's remake, and apparently they might do it. Again, cool, awesome. Doesn't really affect us in the long run, but
if
it's
that's
cool.
True.
Honestly, I think I know who it is if it's not another Axiom, but I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
But
I doubt.
I'm doubt they're
I doubt it.
I'm doubt they're
I have a lot of
ready.
doubts about that.
I'm doubt they're like 100% ready right now. I'm doubt they're like, yeah, we'll go for it. Like, no, I'm sure they want to see a game. Let's see. Could Ramona Raymond Garcia with the all caps? Could this type of game become the first esport broadcasted on TV? If so, what's the name of this sport? Wow.
We would not, even if we were broadcast on TV
think we're not
right
the first.
now, it would not be the first.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Halo was the first.
Halo is probably one of them. And even if it isn't Halo, I know I've seen League of Legends streams a million times on TV. What's the name of this sport? We're Hex VR. It's Hex. That's what we are. No.
The name of the Discord, name of the game,
name of the stream, name of the
YouTube
stream.
channel, name of the stream, yeah. Let's see. You could talk to the people of Knock about competitive in-game in the future, since they're in-game as well.
Very different type of game. I'm not sure.
A, very different type of game, and B, I'm not sure what talking to them would benefit us.
Oh, it's always
Like
good to network.
we can. Well, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, like specifically with that problem. Creating a separate matchmaking queue is like physically, programmatically not difficult. It's just a player count situation.
Yeah.
Being able to justify, taking half of the players online currently and splitting them into a separate queue.
I like the idea that a lot of people would eventually get into the rank queue and leave all new players in the dust. That's pretty much what would happen.
Exactly. God, I mean, this is the exact reasoning why Rad didn't do a separate competitive queue.
Mm-hmm. Blue, we are not speaking of that. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah. Anything in the YouTube chat?
I've been slowly keeping up. It's mostly just Siberian talking about wanting to DM me. Siberian, if you want to DM me, go right ahead. Again, I'll see if I can find it when you DM me.
That's fair.
Add a pickle somewhere random in the game.
No.
Maybe there already is. You don't know.
If it's hidden well enough, you'd never find it.
How has our day been? That's a good one. I'm tired.
Fantastic.
I got home from work not an hour ago.
I'm in the exact same boat. Yeah, I just got home from work right before the stream started. I'm tired. It's been a good day though. Got a lot done.
Jeep, how's your day?
Yeah, how's your day going?
I haven't gotten anything done that I expected to get done today. At all.
Okay.
Fair.
Have you eaten yet?
You know, sometimes you just have those days where it's just like you have big plans and it's gonna go one certain way, and then nothing goes in that direction, and you just kind of say, well, you know what, it's okay.
I will get you those logins
Gotta
after
move
this, I
on.
promise.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. Oh my gosh. No, you're absolutely fine.
Nah, but yeah. Days be going. Days be going.
Yeah, better than it not going. I'll say that much.
Let's see. I've already had, but it won't send since you have to be added. Oh, let me... I didn't think that my DMs were set up like that. Here, I'll accept your friend request.
Let's see. What's the rough estimate of update release dates?
Beta
So, I
1
mean,
is pretty much
for
the only one that's a
record-
date. Like,
Yeah,
rough.
beta one's pretty the only one that has a, goal date, which is, August 1st, obviously. But I think they're referring specifically to this next one. I don't know if you're there for the beginning of the Q&A, but, just to quickly reiterate, this update has been 99% done for, 2.5 weeks now.
It's that damn 1%.
Oh my god, it is. So basically, we have planned on releasing this update every single weekend that has occurred thus far.
I hate how right that is.
I swear, it's like every Friday, we're like, it's gonna happen, everybody, it's gonna come out, and then we can't. We get stuck on something. Can I ask what the 1% is? The 1% is a couple different things.
It's more like 3%, really.
Yeah, I'd say it's closer to 3%, yeah. I'd say probably the biggest one we're dealing with right now comes down to a Unity issue with input fields. Specifically on Quest. It's like if we were exclusively a PC VR game, this update would have been out 2 weeks ago.
Damn Quest.
Yeah. Yeah, Quest is being annoying with input fields, and reading the value of them back. For some reason, it's broken, but we're working through fixing it, working on temporary and long-term solutions. Thoughts on whether Axiom having the lead developer of Echo on their team? I think that's awesome for them. I know they've got a couple people from the original Echo team. Oh, excuse me. And they've also got Circuit Lord.
Yeah, Circuit, he's
Reverb
great.
Arena. Oh my god, I'm so happy for him that he got that. So excited. Excited for the future of their game. I, for one, definitely plan on playing it when it comes out. Not as much as I'm gonna play Hex, though. Right, guys?
We're all great
Yeah.
Hex users.
Yes, I love Hex VR. Will there be regrabbing? It's planned. Regrabbing is the quote-unquote feature of Echo Arena that made it the team sport that it is. So it's absolutely a planned feature. It's just not a focus right now. We're more focused on having I'd say a broader foundation because remember, guys, Hex isn't supposed to be just an Echo Arena clone.
Yeah.
Because of that, we have to build things looking into the future, not just the now. God, because if we wanted to just focus on the now and just be, the equivalent of a Gorilla Tag clone, oh my God, development would be lightning fast.
No care, no plans for the future. Just want to put something out right this
Exactly.
second. No, we're good.
Yeah, we'd have an update out, twice a week. It's just not what we're aiming at right now. We're aiming, not necessarily higher than that, but we are aiming further than that.
Having multiple large Echo remakes / clones will definitely split the community. Any thoughts on that? Again, I put my piece out on that. Obviously, it would be amazing if we can have every developer who knows what they're doing under one belt. But obviously, that's never going to happen. Some people have pride. Some people just have their own vision. That's okay. I can safely say that games will be played no matter what. People will enjoy what they want to enjoy, and in the end, people will play. So, again, VR development just means more games, means more VR. So, in my mind, that's not a bad issue. And I'm not looking at any of this like sorry. I'm not looking at any of this like, again, a competition, because if you look at it like a competition, then you will never get anything done. So.
So as a kind of general statement, the hardest part about game development is getting people to play your game, period. Just getting eyes on it in general.
We had a stroke.
We've kind of already done that part. Yeah, we've kind of already done that part.
What is helpful that most of our development team is, Echo, either like been playing Echo for a little bit, or Echo long-term boomers. I'm not as old as Echo as some of the people here, but I've certainly been. I've put my years in at this point. So a lot of us just have a little bit of more connection with some of the Echo community. So it's been helpful having that to make people excited. If you don't know that my username used to be Sci-Fi, my username used to be Sci-Fi, and you might have recognized that name beforehand. Just stuff like that.
But the big thing is, right, is that a lot of these, Echo spin-off type games, they have the attention of the community. They have the eyes on them. So getting people to try the game is not going to be a problem for almost any of them. The problem is going to be longevity, getting people to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And to that I'll say, yeah, absolutely. Having a bunch of different games will absolutely split the community, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I can almost guarantee you that not all of the Echo spin-offs, but the bigger ones probably will excel at different things. And players who, tend to gravitate towards one element of Echo over others might go to one game, whereas others might go to another. And we're fine with that. We're trying to be the best game we can.
Also the most original that we can be with these guidelines as well.
Oh,
like Underground, we are very excited to work on and play, which is just
I'm very excited for Underground.
It was the bones of combat, but in reality, it's honestly become something so much more like original, and something that we have put our soul into of what we want to see in a VR game, to the point where it is pretty much our own original game mode for VR at least. So, just things like that, just to come around and you make what you want to make. I know if you look at it objectively, if you look at it statistically, all the players, if not most of the players, will go to another Axiom. And that's okay. They're more popular. They've got really great developers. They have Brad David. They have Circuit. I know they have a couple more now that I don't know if I could say the names of, but they have certain developers. So a lot of people are going to go to them, and that's okay. I'm probably going to play it too, because it's going to be good. But that doesn't mean we don't make what we want to make.
We know you're definitely active in the community on Discord, running it yourself, but how do you plan to interact in-game and create a stronger bond with your players? Well, I for one, and I know that, Cade's got a similar story. We've been playing Echo for a very long time. me personally, I've been playing in VRML for a number of seasons now, and it's become a pretty, major part of my, not necessarily day to day, but definitely weekly events. And even after Echo's gone, at that point, theoretically, Hex would be out, and that's probably where I would be spending my time instead of Echo. So I personally definitely plan on being in game a lot of the time, interacting with people, and yeah, to know people in the community. And I imagine Kay feels very similarly to that.
I'm never gonna play it. I hate it. No, I'm joking. Yeah,
Exactly.
I'll definitely be playing it. I'll definitely if you've seen I interact with this community a lot already. Not as much as I want to. I've been working a lot of hours recently, but stuff like that. Speaking of outside of Hex, do you all take time for yourselves to not be so hyper focused all the time? Yes. God, I don't think we'd still be here if we didn't have a brain moment.
Yeah.
Blue needs to get more sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I probably need to spend more time, or less time, working on the game, even though I don't want to. Yeah, that's pretty much the general statement I'll make on that.
YouTube comment from Raymond again. Will there be a penalty box for uttering N-words and stuff? LOL. Yes, they're called mutes and bans. Those are the penalty box. It's mutes and bans. we do not take kindly to a-holes. If this wasn't live, I'd say I'd do the full word. But we don't take kindly to people being rude, people being mean for no reasons, or for uttering things that they shouldn't be doing. It's common courtesy at this point. We're all adults here. We know what is and isn't okay in casual conversation. And if you say something that isn't okay in casual conversation, or like Jeep said, something you wouldn't want your mom to hear, then there's going to be some repercussion.
What time is it for you? What time is one for you? Oh, that's right. You're British. I forgot about that.
Said we're so much malice.
There was no malice. It was simply apathy. It's 8:04 for me right now. PM.
Same here. I actually do live relatively close.
You're British.
That was the funniest thing I think I've heard you say in a while, Blue.
Yeah.
Let's see. Looks like we are starting to lose a little bit of people, so we're going to be going for probably another 5 minutes or 10 minutes or so, and then we'll call it quits for the night. I know the concurrent viewers on YouTube has gone down to 2. I think I am one of them.
Yeah.
Not British or Polish. Oh, well, I guess
European.
we've been standard corrected. European. Let's see. I don't know. You guys think we should just call it now instead? Things are slowing down.
Let's just do final call.
Final call.
Yeah. Any more questions, guys?
And then we're closing out the bar for the night.
Yeah, it can be about the game. It can be about the game's development. Hex tourney. Any number of things.
Favorite type of sandwich.
That would be salami and dill pickle.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
I know. Oh, Jeep's opinion of me just went down. My bad.
Also,
Sorry.
I just realized the way that my screen is laid out, Jeep's avatar is looking to the right, mine is looking to the left, and Blue is in the middle. So we are both just staring right at you.
Really?
Yeah.
Side eye.
Salami and pickles. Really?
Salami and pickles, our avatars are staring right at you.
Um,
Okay, can we talk about it? Talk after this? Sure thing, ET. If you want to DM me, go right ahead. Can we debate best Pokemon? It is Snivy, and I will take that to the grave.
Snivy.
Really?
Yeah.
Ew.
Don't look at me like that.
Side eye to
Look at me
you
like
too now.
that.
Vaporeon, look at Larry Oles coming in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Larry, ooh.
How's development going? Is it going well? About as well as it could. We're, moving forward in a couple different directions right now, both, in terms of gameplay and visuals and performance. So,
Low punny?
yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, I'd say that performance is, or not performance. I'd say that development's going really well right now. There's just some, obstacles we have to overcome, and then once that's, happened,
As is with game development.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we're gonna go now. Again, we're dying on the hill Snivy because of nostalgia and just being a cool Pokemon. And
Don't rope me into that.
nope,
Don't
we're
say
all going out
don't
on
say-
that hill.
Don't say we.
I appreciate everybody coming to the YouTube stream. I'm gonna shut down the YouTube first. I'm gonna put it in a little closing animation, and then we're gonna hop out for YouTube. So thank you everybody who's watching on YouTube, and I hope you come around next time. We'll have some more updates for everybody soon. And by animation, I mean I'm going to change the text on the starting soon screen and make it say have a good one.
What does the stream even look like? Can you link that?
It's